This is a free sample of the book, Never Ghosted Again, The Art of Being Irresistible, by Cairo Copeland. The first half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/ghosted. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/ghosted.
Part 2. Her. Chapter 3. The Irresistible Woman. Time must be spent on dissecting the type of woman you want to attract. While it may seem obvious to you which women you prefer, you need to know more specifics than just merely all the hot babes I can get. Having picked up this book makes you different from many, if not most, other guys. There are probably 100 other things you know about yourself that make you different from most other guys. So by the same nature, women come in all different archetypes as well. Furthermore, how can you possibly hope to become irresistible to a whole class of people if you do not first understand them? That will be the goal of this chapter, to help you achieve the impossible. Gain an understanding of women, the way they think, what they want, why they act the way they act. The good news is that it can be done and made as predictable as mathematics. None of this will be generalizations that can be applied to all women across the board, as you may have discovered such generalizations do not work. Perhaps you've been given advice by someone who said women want X and then you did X only to get rejected. Picture the following scenario. An advising friend tells you that women want a man that's confident, and a nerdy guy thinking to himself, well, you know what? I'm confident in math, so let me use that. He sees a pretty girl at the bar and approaches her and says to her, hey there, I'm really good at algebra, but I need your help with this equation. Will you replace my X without asking why? And she responds, excuse me? He's fumbling around for another pickup line. He says, you know what? I'm better at trigonometry. In fact, I wish I was a tangent so I could be close to those curves. With that, she screams, go away, you creep. And he says, wait, you're way above average. Don't be mean. She throws her drink in his face and leaves him. While this is a ridiculous example, it illustrates the point on how ridiculous generalizations will do nothing to help the guy seeking to become irresistible. Instead, attention must be paid to the things that make each woman unique. These things can be quantitative, like her age, appearance factors, and social proof, how many friends she has. Then there are purely qualitative measures, like her life experience, childhood, and current insecurities. The idea is not to exploit these things, but to adapt yourself in a way that makes your behavior complement them. There are, however, some things we can generalize, such as the commonalities we have with them as humans, and one of those is the desire for good company, meaningful relationships, and even amazing sex. Then there's also the imperatives thrust down upon them, covered by the previous chapter. These imperatives have altered your perception of women and upset your understanding of them as well. Many guys believe that women don't even like sex, but as you'll see from this chapter, that's simply not true. For the last 50 years, women have been force-fed by feminism that they could have it all, and that all meant a meaningful career, a supportive husband, kids she can be proud of, and a beautiful home her friends were envious of. The idea was fed to them in a way that led them to believe such things would happen of their own accord, without much effort from her. When it turned out to be a lie, or at least a milestone not so easily achieved, the reality hit them hard like the discovery of a cheating spouse, or like Neo's awakening from the Matrix. This is what the reality is for most single women today. A tiny apartment in a shitty side of town that they were told was up and coming. In this residence, their safety is questionable, catcalls are inevitable, and the guys around are creeps. Their friends are friends in name alone, or better referred to as the frenemy. Their relationship with them is only to one-up them, causing them to do things they don't like to do, buy things they don't really want, with money they don't even have, to impress the people that they don't really like. Their life story up to this day consists of a string of emotionally unfulfilling past relationships, looked down upon by a judgmental mother who subtly suggests there must be something wrong with her because she can't keep a man. The closest thing they have to a close relationship right now is with their cat who gives them condescending looks. Adding insult to injury, the feminists throw more fuel on this fire by telling these women that it's all the fault of men that she's in this predicament. While feminism has poisoned the hearts of many women, making them more likely to flake on dates, reject without giving a guy a chance, and ghost without guilt, you still have one ace in the hole: evolution. The fact of the matter is that no matter how harsh of a breakup a human has endured, no matter how much emotional and physical abuse they've endured from a past suitor, they all crave meaningful connection with another human. Even 100 years of feminism cannot outdo 10,000 years of evolution. In the hunter-gatherer age, before verbal communication was perfected, attraction was simplified, and it hasn't changed much since. It was all about continuing the gene pool and bloodline. The original purpose of mating and selection habits of the mates was centered around this. The male was attracted to the woman's body, if it appeared that she could bear his children. This persists today. The female, on the other hand, was attracted to the male's behaviors. This persists today. His behaviors needed to demonstrate that he would be a good caretaker of her while she was carrying his child in the womb, and be a great provider for her and the offspring once emerged from the womb. He needed to show strength in his abilities to go out hunting in order to bring back food and provision for them while they waited helplessly in the cave. He needed to show bravery as he ventured into the wilderness, facing possible death by the claws of a bear, to find food. He needed to show both a physical and mental toughness that would come in handy when a day would go by without a catch. And most of all, he needed to show that he could survive on his own in the wilderness, alone without her, as he may be gone for days in his hunt. These behaviors persist in creating attraction, but while we're not in a hunter-gathering age, the themes of such dimorphisms exist in synonymous behaviors. Physical strength is replaced and reflected in work ethic and ambition. Bravery is confidence. Mental toughness is emotional intelligence. The ability to be alone is the lack of neediness that many women today cannot find among the guys available to them. The landscape has changed dramatically from a mere 10 years ago, where when you had a date planned, it was going to happen for sure. But in today's world of social media, women realize they have endless options, thus flaking on dates is a frequent practice. Even worse, a book has emerged in feminine culture that is the Bible of how women today are to approach the dating scene. Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider authored The Rules with the message that a woman should never indicate her interest in a guy. The idea was to help women realize that they had inherent value and no need to chase guys desperately. The result is now these women are as lonely as before because the guys they wanted are clueless about whether or not she even likes them. The result is now these women are as lonely as before because the guys they wanted are clueless about whether she even likes them. If you want to understand why you're being flaked and ghosted on, then it is highly recommended you read The Rules. While it's not the gospel read by every woman, the book is likely passed around among girlfriends, or its ideas trickle their way into the advice they give each other. This book is one source of imperatives from an authority that is not so anonymous. With that in mind, you must use this as a reminder that when women flake and ghost on you, it is not their fault or out of malicious intent. They do not know what they are doing. The imperatives are the real enemy, not the women. Do not allow this toxic book to pervert your perception of them. Instead, approach it like a diplomat who's trying to understand both sides. Imagine yourself to be the minister about to perform the wedding for a white man and a black woman, but the two families disapprove, like in Romeo and Juliet, fueled by their prejudices. Imagine you are the one that can be the peacemaker and create harmony amongst all. But first, you must understand both sides. While the author believes that the book is damaging and dangerous, he does not believe it should not be read. Rather, it should be approached like an open-minded Christian pastor who does not tell his congregants, don't read the Quran, don't read the Talmud, or any other religious text that conflicts with the Bible, but rather tells them, do read these things. Let us understand those who we wish to win over and why they believe what they believe.
Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book, Never Ghosted Again, The Art of Being Irresistible, by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com. reinventideal.com/ghosted. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/ghosted.